A little bit of playoff Ascension here. Looks like Chaosranpu, as soon as I created this game, logged on and joined. So I'm hoping that we're going to do some live action. This is the first round of the playoffs for the Ascension Online October tournament. And it is best of 3, all Storm of Souls. I may have taken too long, unfortunately, switching devices and lost the opportunity here, but we'll see. Hopefully it didn't take too long. So, early choice was between Starchild, Elemental Adept, Personal Wormhole, on a 5-0 hand, and I chose the Starchild. I was very close to wanting the Elemental Adept, but I feel like I want to develop my rune, and in an ideal world, add as few cards to my deck that kind of clog it up as I can, and so I took the Starchild. That could really pay off if I'm able to turn that rune advantage into an early Raj Psionic Master. That's a huge advantage early in the game. I'm going to turn off these sound effects here. And he did take the Elemental Adept, certainly a good choice. Board control is just key. An Elemental Adept definitely can pay off higher than some other board control cards, especially if like an Enlightened event comes out. So he takes Grease Monk and Mystic, and that opens the board for me to see Shadowcaster, which I'm definitely going to take. There wasn't really another choice there. I'm going to take the Personal Wormhole. It's just not the power level that Shadowcaster is. And okay, so he had to take another Mystic. Wasn't able to pick up the Tower Ascara or the Raj, so I'm going to take the Ascara. And now I have a decent little start to my deck building quest, so to speak, here. As I've only added the one Mystic. Now he does get the Raj, but I've only got the one Mystic. I have the Starchild, I have the Shadowcaster, I have the Tower Ascara. Now there's the Enlightened event, which does actually pay off for both of us now, because I have a card that makes me discard, so I can return the card directly to my hand. And now a pretty interesting choice, actually, between Serial and Elder Skeptic. I'm going to take the Serial. I think it's a card we're both going to be interested in, and it's a pretty high power kind of a card. I think Raj makes that a really, can be a super high value pickup for him because he can get it very easily. Kind of lucky, I think, that the Enlightened event went away with him having Skeptic and Elemental Adept. And now he's also picked up the Nihilomancer to give himself a little bit of extra banishing. I'm going to keep the Militia here so I can banish it with the Shadowcaster. And let's see, I think I'm going to add the Snake Shaman as just another way to unite my Serial at this point. And although the Treasures is tempting, I think I'll take the Snake Shaman first. And now, because Elder Skeptic came out, I'm going to take that instead of the Treasures. And I could take the Prodigal, which isn't awful. It's a card I think I'm going to take it. I can discard it to the Tower Ascara, and also, of course, use it just to pick off things like there is a Hoarding Whelp already on the board, which he's unfortunately going to take from me. But just a good way to pick off some monsters. Now I can look at the Prime or the Elemental Adept, and I think, again, the Prime is kind of a higher value, kind of a pickup off of Raj. And I feel like a lot of the time he's going to be kind of Elemental Adepting the same cards that I would want to Elemental Adept, which can pay off because he gets the first shot at looking at the cards. But it just makes the card a little less value when we're interested in the same kinds of cards. I think. So here I'm going to put the Cyril because I can unite and there's not a big construct to target using the Honey Siren's ability. I'm definitely going to want that Tower Ascara as an additional card draw card. So now I'm set up really pretty well as far as drawing cards goes, and I think I'm going to take could take a Honey Siren. I don't know that I need it. I have quite a few powerful rune cards. I'm going to take the Personal Wormhole. Keep him off of it, and it has some synergy with the Prime, and can help me with some additional banishing, as he was able to pick up the other two banishers that came out other than the Shadowcaster. You know, I really want to banish through my deck. Combined, we have done a pretty good job of just keeping the board pretty clear of monsters here. So it's going to come down to who can do more powerful things with the stuff they've put in their deck. And we both got a lot of really good heroes going on here. So I am going to need to banish when possible. First Tower Ascara, I get to discard one card because I have an Enlightened card to discard. And here I think I'm going to discard the Prime and the Apprentice so that I can use the Wormhole to pick up the Prime, banish the Apprentice. I'm going to Shadowcaster. I'd like to get more value out of the Prime than just a Canopic Jar, but I do want a Canopic Jar, so I'm going to, because I could always take the Wormhole with the Prime if that's the only option. Now I get a second Canopic Jar, and I may just take that. And again, I could still just take the Wormhole. I'm actually going to take the Jar with the Prime, I think, leaving me the 5 runes. In case, yeah, I actually had that card in mind. There was a lot of 5-cost heroes that can certainly be very powerful, and that is one of them. So I really wanted to pick up cards like Lionheart, Starchild, Shadowcaster, and I was fortunate enough to have that happen. So I gambled a little bit with the Prime based on the fact that it felt to me like there were a lot of options of cards that could pop out that I would care to pick up with the 5 runes rather than 4. Okay. Here I don't really need the Snake Shaman. I'm not going to be buying any honor in that manner this turn, so pitch it as one of the cards to keep the Apprentice so that I have something to banish. Okay, so play the Jars. And that way I get a couple of rune when I prodigal the Hoarding Whelp first. And then, again, I kind of just want to clear some space to see what else comes out. And here, I'm going to start with the smaller Makana, because if I could find a hero worth buying, maybe I can buy the Kog'Maw with the Prime. Nookhound definitely adds to what I'm doing here. And now I could either pick up a Jar for not much effect. I could just get the Wormhole back. I'm just going to get the Wormhole back. That lets me banish another card. Nothing wrong with that. There's not a ton out there that I want right now, and so I'm going to skip using my 3 rune. I don't want to open up room for him by buying the Messenger and the Grease Monk, and I don't want those cards in my deck. And I don't really want another Mystic. I think right now I have plenty of rune production, plenty of power production in ways that are just more efficient than Mystic or Heavy Infantry. So I feel like I'm in pretty good shape at this point. Let's see. So I want to discard an Enlightened card with Tower Ascara, but not an Elder Skeptic. So I'm going to dig towards that Enlightened card. Still have one more Apprentice left that I could banish with the Shadowcaster. So I'm going to gamble on that, because I'm still going to draw a lot more cards this turn. I could even banish the Snake Shaman. Probably going to draw a Makana construct, so going to Tower Ascara first. Okay, so I'm going to discard this Nookhound. And then off of this Tower of Scar, I'll discard the Shaman and the Prime. I'm going to play Synchronizer because I need to do this right away before I shuffle. I'm going to put the Prime into hand, banish the Apprentice. I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to beat the Noxious Soul. See what else comes out. Yeah, Penumbral Edge is definitely a nice one. Can kind of add to the incremental advantage I'm making every turn, and I'm going to do the same thing with Eye of Destiny. I think those are going to almost guarantee that every turn now is going to be pretty insane. So I'm going to actually buy Honor this time with the Snake Shaman, because I don't really have anything else that I want to be doing with that rune. And then hopefully, as long as everything stays intact and I don't get like Polaris Demoned or something next turn, the next turn should just be really good. So hopefully we're just going to do the best of 3 series. If I can get Chaosranpu to go ahead and play this live. Let's see, the Eye of Destiny is even a card I could discard. Let's start though with the tower. I think I'm happy to discard the Prodigal first. It's just kind of the reason I put it in the deck, it feels like. I guess now I'll play I was going to play the Shadowcaster. Okay, so dig some more. Definitely want to go ahead and discard an Enlightened card to the Tower of Scar. I'm gonna let's see, first I'm gonna put the Granger directly into hand, but first I should, let's see, I'm gonna it's difficult. So conundrum is I want to get a little extra value picking up the Prime by playing the Eye of Destiny. I don't think it's quite as important as yeah, I want to get a little extra value. So I'm going to buy the Granger, and I'm going to hope I can get another hero worth buying directly to hand that matters, and I'm going to discard the Prime, play the Eye of Destiny, pick up the Prime, not banish anything. I'm going to prime a Kog'Maw. I'm going to put the Skeptic directly into my hand. I'm going to Vandal Soul. I don't think I really need to draw the Kog'Maw necessarily. Let's see, right now I think just the highest value cards I can get. Let's make sure I do this during the Lifebound event, which we now have. I'm going to buy Synchronizer. I want to beat the Polaris Demon. So let's see. I've only got 4 power right now. I'm going to buy a heavy to make sure I can beat the Polaris Demon, or at least try to make it more likely that I can beat Polaris Demon. I think the Prodigal is better than the Synchronizer because it produces a rune as well, and we're getting down to the point where I'm not going to get a lot of value out of Construct sitting on the board. I'll take out his Treasures of the Study. I'm going to draw through here. I don't think there's really a good point in banishing right now. I'll just go ahead and pick up the Nookhound. There's a target for the Prodigal. I think I'm just going to banish the Unchained Fates because I'm not beating it this turn. And then I'll put the Synchronizer in the discard pile again. And because he's has some potential to end the game, I may as well use some of my resources here. And in fact, I feel like